Hello and welcome to another episode of the Pen Fan series. In this series, we ask pen people about three really important questions about fountain pens and stationery and things like that. If you don't want to miss out on a video, make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel now. We have on the show here today the one and only Mr. the Pen Addict, aka Brad Dowdy, and we have three amazing questions for him. So let's start right away with the first question for Brad. Brad, how did you get into fountain pens?
I was forced into it pretty much by the readership of the Pen Addict, right? So I started this blog over 15 years ago. And I mostly reviewed gel pens, ballpoint pens, markers. And once it started to grow, people started asking, what about fountain pens? What do you think about fountain pens? And I did not grow up as a fountain pen person. I grew up looking to write as tiny as I could, right? So I like mechanical pencils and then like ultra fine pens. And you couldn't really find that stuff, right? So that's why I started writing a blog about it as I got older. So fountain pens to me when I was growing up were just like markers, just wide lines, messy. It wouldn't work for how I wrote. But now I had this blog and people started asking me. I was like, fine, I'll get a couple of the entry-level fountain pens. Platinum Preppy, Lamy Safari, I think were the first two fountain pens that I reviewed on the blog. And at the time they were fine. I didn't latch onto them until I had some readers kind of explain to me, seeing how I write with standard pens like gel pens, explaining to me that I could get that effect with certain fountain pens, and here's what you should look for. And then that's when the light bulb went off, when I learned what I eventually said is at first I said I hate fountain pens, which I finally gotten past that point. People don't bring that up to me. Brad hates fountain pens. That was an old theme back in like episode 10 of the podcast. To now where I always say fountain pens are the most customizable writing experience you can have. The problem is getting to that point. It takes some experience and takes some knowledge. And for my case, it took some help of people sharing with me that had similar writing styles to me, what pens they used, what nibs they used, importantly, what inks they used, what paper they used to get the effect that I wanted. So it was really thanks to the readers of the Pen Addict that helped me along, is how I got into fountain pens. Like it wasn't a lifelong thing for me. And now I'm obviously knee deep into fountain pens. I have hundreds, unfortunately, of fountain pens. I enjoy them all at all times. But yeah, like it took a while for me to get there. And now I say it's like the most customizable writing experience you can have. And I like to play around with different nibs, different nib grinds, different inks, different pen materials, different shapes. So I am all in on fountain pens now.
Amazing. Luckily that you're now on this side of the world.
Yes.
Let's go to the second question. And full disclosure, I asked Brad first if I could ask this question because it can be a little bit difficult. But Brad, does your partner know how much you actually spend on your collection?
I approve this question because I enjoy this question. The answer is no, is the simple answer, but it's a little bit more complex than that. So I have an excuse, Yost. I am in the business of stationery. So I get asked less questions probably on my expenditures than most because I'll just say, it's on the business account. I'll write that off. Something like that. I'm going to review this. I just bought this for review. Like this one's on loan. That's one of my favorite ones. I'm just borrowing this pen. So like she doesn't know, like if I showed her a pen, like if I put out a tray in my pen box right here, there wouldn't be any idea of how much I spent on it. Other than she would probably go a lot, but not knowing what that meant. That could be like $100, right? Because my wife's favorite pen, and she has great taste, it's the Pentel Energel, right? That's an awesome pen. And like she likes the color, she likes that they're retractable. She doesn't care about fountain pens. She's not into this at all. But she doesn't ask how much I spend on it. But I have that one excuse. The ultimate excuse is that a lot of it's at a business expense.
It's a really good excuse, actually, and we will make sure that your wife will not watch this video, so you don't have to
Exactly.
sleep on the couch. Um,
That's right. And I didn't say any dollar amount, so I'm
yeah, that's
covered.
true. That's true. Let's have a look at the third question because this is a really important question, and everybody loves this question. But Brett, what is your top tip for someone using fountain pens?
God, I this is a tough question that I'm going to try to make the answer easy. And I honestly think that you have to have fun with the products that you choose to purchase. And you should not care what other people think about your pen or your paper or your favorite ink or is this good or is this bad. You should look for enjoyment for yourself first, right? Finding products that you like aesthetically, that are beautiful, that work well for you, that you have this one specific notebook that nobody knows what paper's in it, but you have a pen that works well in there. And you should own that. Like you should really take care of what you want first out of this whole stationary experience. You can get information from people like myself or Yoast or anyone else out there that's sharing information, but we're just one voice out there. And while we are fortunate to have a lot of products cross our hands, cross our desks, we still only have our experience. So I think just taking the time to like learn what you like, finding those things that work well for you, and not getting necessarily drawn into like the fear of missing out, which a lot of us have. Like there's a point where you become like into this collector phase, which is great. Like, but that's different. I think I talked with a lot of beginners and people just starting, and I don't want them to think that fountain pens or any pens are too precious for them to use. I don't want them to be scared of them. I want them to pick up a pen and have a pleasant experience and have fun with it. And how much you spend on your stuff doesn't matter. Like I said, like a $5 pen, you get so much enjoyment out of like a $5 pen. Like I couldn't even stand it. Like I pick up pens all the time that are just inexpensive, and I'm like, yeah, this is great, right? And then I personally have reasons why I might spend a lot of money on a pen. That's for
Mhm.
me, right? But for like someone starting, someone that's a beginner, you got to have fun doing this. Don't take it too seriously. Don't don't worry about what other people are thinking, and just use your products. Have fun with it. Experiment. Play around. If you break the warranty, don't bring it to Yoast. Don't put India ink in your pens. There is a limit to how much fun you should have, but yeah, have fun playing around with your stationery, and that's all you really need to be worried about. This is something meant to be enjoyed.
It's a wonderful tip. Thank you so much, Brett, for
Sure,
sharing
sure,
this
sure.
with us. Everybody, thank you so much for watching. If you haven't subscribed to the YouTube channel yet, make sure to do so so you will see the next episode as well. The next episode will be live next week, so don't miss out on it. Bye bye.